Hi there, my name is Pedro Felicio and welcome to another video from the Board Games Herald channel. This is another mini tutorial in English. And the game for this mini tutorial is Usolli, a strategic game about Salah. Usolli is a game for 1 to 4 players, ages 10 and up, and it takes about 30 minutes. Usolli is a game from the designer Ahmad Salahuddin, and it's from the publisher Cardboard Quokka Studio. Usolli is a game about the Islamic religion, culture and heritage. Usolli tries to replicate the experience of trying to make the 5 Salah Islamic prayers on time during the day. And now let's see how to play the basic mode of Usolli, a strategic game of Salah. First you get all the Salah prayers cards and put them in order from 1 to 5 using the basic mode side. After that we will put the time tracker token on the leftmost spot of the first Salah card, the Fajr. Next, get each of the Salah tokens and group them by color. Then stack each group from A to D on top of each the corresponding Salah of that color. Then get all the prayer beads, the cubes in black, white and blue, and put them into the back. Get all the Raka cards, shuffle them well and put them on a pile facing down. After that, make a grid of 4 columns and 3 rows, making sure you leave spaces between rows. With 2 players, the grid will be only 3 by 3 cards. Next, get the event cards and shuffle them well, making a deck within reach of every player. Finally, each player will choose a color and will get a worker and a basic reference card of the chosen color, putting the reference card in his playing area and his pawn below a card on the corner nearest to him. And we are ready to play Usolli, a strategic game about Salah. The goal of Usolli is to get the most point, or Hazanat, the good deeds. For that, the players will collect Raka cards representing parts of the Salah prayers and will trade them for Salah tokens and prayer beads. And these will score points or Hazanat at the end of the game. The game will take place through consecutive turns. Starting with the initial player and going clockwise around the table, each player will play their turn, either moving to collect Raka cards or by praying a Salah by discarding the matching Raka cards. After that, the turn will pass to the player on the left that will do their turn, and this will continue until the end of the game. In his turn, a player will choose one of 2 different actions, either move or pray. If the player chooses to move, he will need to move to a different spot even if there is another worker there. The player will see the grey symbol on the card above the pawn and will be able to move the pawn according to that symbol. Move anywhere, move 2 spaces in the same row, move 1 space in any direction, move 1 space in the same column. Also, if a player chooses, he may discard any 1 card from his hand to move his pawn anywhere on the grid. After moving, the player must pick up the Raka card at the new spot. After picking a card or cards, if the player has more than 7 cards in his hand, he has to discard down to 7 cards. If the card has the Adan symbol, the player will move the time tracker token 1 space to the right, even if moving to another Salah card. If there is a question mark, the player will draw a card from the top of the event card follows his instructions, then discards it to a common pile. If the event applies to more than one player, go clockwise starting from the current player. If the event instructs the player to pick up cards, he will ignore any pickup symbols on those cards. Lastly, the player will draw a new Raka card from the deck and place it face up at the empty current space. Instead of moving, the other main action that the player can do is to pray. For praying, a player needs to choose a Salah he has not already prayed. He cannot pray to a future Salah, so the prayer chosen needs to be the present Salah, where the time token is, or a past one. Next, the player needs to discard the number of cards of the color of the Salah equal to the number of the diamonds represented in the Salah card. When praying, a Nia card may be used as a wild card and discarded as any color. When discarding the cards for the prayer, at least one of the cards must have a voodoo symbol. If not, the player must discard another card with that symbol, even if the card is of another color. After discarding the cards, the player will take the topmost matching Salah token and put it in his player card. The players need to keep the tokens piled from the most recent token at the top to the oldest token at the bottom. Next, the player will get beats from the back. The player will get 1 beat if he prayed on time. Also, the player will get 1 beat for each card discarded this way with the Kusyu and Musafir icon. Finally, the time tracker token is moved twice to the right, even moving to another Salah prayer card if the last spot of that card was reached. The game will end when the time tracker moves out of the Isha prayer, the last Salah card. After that, the players will proceed to final score. During final score, each player will do the following steps, starting with the current player and in turn order. If the player prayed in order, starting with the first Salah and no skips between the Salah, even if the player didn't do all the 5 prayers, the player will draw 1 bonus prayer bead from the back. If the player prayed all 5 Salahs, the player will draw 2 bonus prayer beads from the back. Then tally all the Azanat token values that are written on the back of the Salah tokens. Tally all the prayer beads, 1 point for each white bead, 2 points for each black bead, and 3 points for each blue bead. After adding all the points, the player with the most points is the winner. In case of a tie, the tie player who did the earliest Salah and has the token with the highest point is the winner. There is an advanced mode, you can check it out in the rulebook on page 10. Also, if you want to play Usolli in solo mode, you can check it out in page 14 of the rulebook. And this is how you play Usolli, a strategic board game about Salah.